right, everyone, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen with you and we'll get started today. Can everyone see this? Can you give a thumbs up? All right. And you'll see there are a couple Zoom expectations here. Zoom is not ideal. I would much rather be sitting with you in a classroom in Lamar Hall. But you do want to do some basic stuff, find a quiet place. And I know that can be hard sometimes because my child's home right now doing virtual learning, and then I have lots of animals and they're running around. But, try to get as quiet of a place as you can. Try to be on time, especially normal mornings when we will only have one link, hopefully, instead of me sending you all those links. I woke up to text messages this morning of different teachers saying, oh, Zoom's down across the country. There's some problem, So I'm sorry about that. Quick, hey, let's try Google Meet kind of email, but I guess we got to be flexible. You want to use mute, unless you're speaking, just so that we don't hear the background noise in your room and that sort of thing. Use the chat if you can when we're having class, instead of just like jumping in and interrupting if someone's speaking. And then your video on is optional. You guys do not have to have your video on if you don't want to. Of course, I'd love to see your faces, but you don't have to. I know how it is. You don't want to just be sitting there the whole time looking. I call it the Zoom face, and then I have a link to the UM Creed if you want to think about course expectations, but I'm going to go over that in a minute too. All right, I think we'll go ahead and get started. Hopefully everybody's gotten in at this point. So we're going to do a little meet and greet. We'll probably do a check-in like this every week where we're just kind of talking to each other, reminding each other of our names, and then just another little icebreaker question. So our icebreaker question for this week is our current entertainment obsession. So what you're either like binging on Netflix or reading or listening to right now nonstop. So I'll go ahead and start. I am Miss Nichols-Buckley, but I want you guys, you can call me Miss Buckley or Miss B. This is my 7th year here at the university teaching Fast Track Writing 101 and 102. I love Fast Track so much. My preferred pronouns are she and her. I live in Tupelo, so I will be working with you remotely from Tupelo. If you don't know where that is, it's about an hour from Oxford, birthplace of Elvis Presley. And I'm just really looking forward to being with all of y'all this semester. We are so lucky this semester because we have a co-instructor for this class, and her name's Miss Black, so I'll let her introduce herself.
Hey y'all, I'm Ellie Black. I'm Ms. Black. Yes, I'm the co-instructor for this class. I'm very excited to get to know y'all and to meet y'all. I am originally from Arkansas, Clarksville, and I went to Hendrix College in Conway, if you know where that is. And I am an MFA student here at the University of Mississippi. I live in Oxford with my roommate. And I'm thinking about getting a cat, although I don't really want to, but I met one who I fell in love with yesterday at PetSmart. So we'll see what happens. Her name is Pepsi, and I love her. But I'm an MFA student in poetry, which basically means I'm just here to write poems and teach y'all. So yes, I'm very excited to get to know y'all. I use she, her pronouns, and my media obsession at the moment is I watched the movie The Love Witch last night on Canopy, which y'all have access to through the university. It's a very good movie and I recommend it.
You got to get that cat. I'm a big fan of people having pets. So I have a dog.
I've never had.
Oh yeah, you haven't had a cat? You got to do it. I've got a dog, 3 cats now. One just found us like 2 nights ago. I've got 4 chickens, a lizard, a rabbit. Anyway, everything. And my obsession right now is Lovecraft Country on HBO. It's just started, and it's an amazing, amazing show. All right, I'm just going to go through the roll list here, and if I do not pronounce your name correctly, please correct me and just tell me what you want to go by. And guys, I have a little list here. Just tell us your name, your preferred pronouns, where you're from, your major, if you have one yet, and then whatever you're listening to. So we're going to start with Sarah. Sorry, Sarah, Ida or A-Y?
Yes, ma'am. It's just Ada, Sarah Ada.
All right, talk to us.
My name is Sarah Ada. I am majoring in Allied Health Science and minoring in Arabic. I am from Oxford, Mississippi, and my pronouns are she, her.
Okay. What you watching these days?
Gilmore Girls.
Gilmore Girls, great show. What's great to meet you, Sarah.
You too.
All right, Braden.
Hello, my name is Braden. My preferred pronouns would be he, him. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. I'm majoring in business, and I'm currently watching Stranger Things on Netflix.
Have you watched it before?
I have.
Oh my gosh, it is such a great show.
Yeah.
I like the second season even better than the first season, but my husband didn't. But very good. What about Sam?
Hi, I'm Sam, and I'm from Baltimore, and my major right now is undecided, and my preferred pronouns are probably he and me. And as of now, I'm not watching a show on Netflix, but I'm just watching a lot of NBA playoffs in the bubble.
Yes, that's what everybody says. So you're from Baltimore. How are you adjusting to Southern life?
So far, it's actually not been that bad. I'm meeting a lot of people, which is good, making new friends. I like it so far. And also, I knew a few people here already, so that helped.
Awesome. Well, it's great to meet you. All right, Ethan.
Hi, my name is Ethan Seplik. My preferred pronouns are he and him. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. My major is general business, and then I'm not really watching anything on Netflix right now, just kind of binge watching the playoffs since they're on all day.
Yeah, that's what I hear. So, Ethan, I taught at Miami University of Ohio.
Okay.
While my husband was in grad school there, and we loved Cincinnati. We just loved that city. Um, and you adjusting okay to the South?
Yeah, I like it a lot so far.
Good. Well, I'm glad to meet you. What about Esther?
Hi, I'm Esther. I go by she and her. I'm from Ocean Springs, Mississippi, so it's on the coast, right next to Biloxi and all the casinos. I am a BFA acting major with minoring in business, and I just finished the Umbrella Academy, and I'm rewatching Once Upon a Time for like the third time. So.
I've heard Umbrella Academy is awesome. I also love Ocean Springs. What a great town. Yeah. All right, Hayes. I think it's Hayes.
You got it. I'm Hayes Donham, from Dallas, Texas. My preferred pronouns are he and him. I'm majoring in general business, and I've mostly just been watching the NBA playoffs and NHL playoffs.
Yeah, I know everybody's ready, or well, hopeful, I guess, for sports to start up again too this fall. All right, Hayes, well, it's great to meet you, Texas guy. What about Reese? Do we have Reese? Jaso? Jaso? Okay. What about Griffin? Oh, sorry, I see Reese.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, awesome. I'm from Alexandria, Virginia. My preferred pronouns are he, him, and I've been watching a lot of NBA playoffs.
All right. The same. And from Virginia. Okay, what about Griffin?
How's it going? I'm Griffin. I'm from Georgia. I guess my preferred pronouns are he and him, and I'm watching Yellowstone right now.
Oh, everybody's been talking about Yellowstone. Is it good?
Yes, ma'am. It's awesome.
Okay. Is that on Apple TV?
You can get on like YouTube TV and every Sunday at like 8 o'clock or on demand and all that jazz.
Okay. Yes. Well, I'm hearing some good stuff about it. All right. What about Maria?
Hi, y'all. My name is Maria Lopez. I'm from Senatobia, Mississippi. My preferred pronouns are she, her, and my major is criminal justice. And it makes sense because I'm rewatching Criminal Minds.
Criminal Minds has been a popular one today. Maria, my dad has a farm in Arcabutla, Mississippi.
That's where I'm from. Like that, I say Senatobia, but I'm from Arcabutla.
Okay, well that farm is on Kelly Crossing Road.
That's like 2 minutes away from my house.
Yeah, that's so funny. Well, it's great to meet you. All right, what about Rosa? I met Rosa the other day.
Hey guys. So I go by she, her, and what was the other name? From Conway, Arkansas. My major is engineering. And then right now I don't really have anything that's entertaining me besides like I have a lot of things going on. Right now I'm in a coffee place that's called the Uptown. It's actually pretty good. I'll sketch that first, but you know, I like the scones and the strawberry smoothie's pretty good, and my dog, Shanko, is very much enjoying it.
Oh, she's beautiful. All right. It's great to meet you, Rosa, again and see you. What about Maddie? Maddie, I can't quite hear you. I see you. I think you need to unmute. Or, sorry. Well, no. I don't know why I can't hear you. I'm sorry. We'll go on to the next one and we'll come back to you. What about Micaiah?
Hey, I'm Micaiah Taylor. I'm from Austin, Mississippi. My major is business administration marketing, and my preferred pronoun is she or her.
All right. Well, it's great to meet you. You're not far from home.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, good. What about Wesley? All right. Wesley Portera. Okay. What about Alex?
Hey y'all, I'm Alex Stanford. I'm from Greenwood, Mississippi. It's about an hour and a half from Oxford. My preferred pronouns, I guess, would be her and she. I'm majoring in psychology and minoring in business. And I am binge watching The Vampire Diaries for the 4th time on Netflix.
All right. I've got to watch this show. It has been so popular today. And I love vampire shows. All right, Alex. What about Hannah?
So I'm Hannah. I guess my preferred pronouns are she and her. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I'm undecided on my major, and I'm watching Yellowstone right now.
Okay, got some Yellowstone fans. Well, it's great to meet you, Hannah. What about Julia?
Hi, I'm Julia. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I'm majoring in business marketing, and I'm watching a lot of Criminal Minds right now.
A lot of Criminal Minds. Let's put that Criminal Minds. Okay, what about Brooke?
Hey, I'm Brooke. I am from outside of Jackson in a town called Raymond. I am majoring in marketing. I go by she, her, and I'm rewatching Gossip Girl.
Awesome. Love Gossip Girl. Or used to back in the day. Great to meet you. What about Sarah Tabor?
Hey, I'm Sarah Tabor. I go by she and her. I'm from a town called Olive Branch, Mississippi, which is right outside Memphis, Tennessee. My major is political science, and I just got done watching Euphoria.
Oh, yes. Someone else said Euphoria today. Sarah, I'm from Olive Branch, too. That's where I went to school. Did you go to the Olive Branch High School?
I actually went to Center Hill High School.
To Center Hill. Okay. Yeah, my sister teaches at Lewisburg, so a lot of my family's still in Olive Branch, too. Well, it's great to meet you.
You too.
And last, we have Kevin.
Hi, I'm Kevin. I'm from Chicago. My pronouns are he and him. My major is accounting, and I'm currently watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh my gosh, one of the best shows of all time. Who's your favorite character?
Great. I like Charlie a lot.
Charlie's the best. He's just absolutely.
Yeah, it's funny.
And yeah, so many great episodes of that show. Okay, it's great to meet you. You're far from home. You feeling okay about being in the South?
Yeah, it's been pretty fun.
Good, good. Now let's try Maddie one more time. Maddie, can you try again to speak? I couldn't hear you. Okay, she might be having some difficulties. All right, guys, we're just going to keep on going then through our series here. A lot of today is just, again, like I said, meet and greet, and then just kind of classroom practices and where to go to find stuff, that sort of thing. So you might want to take notes as we are going through and just on things that stand out to you. This first screen is our the inclusive classroom practices. So if I guess it's as close to class rules as we would have. Essentially, these are they're aligned with our creed, which you may not know actually exists, but we do as a university community have this sort of set of beliefs. And it's important for you to see those if you haven't already. And so they're embedded into these practices. I'm going to read these aloud, and afterward, I'm going to ask if you guys will, let's have a little discussion, maybe about practices that stand out to you that you had not considered before as being important to an inclusive classroom, or even if you want to share about maybe a high school experience where you were in a classroom that didn't kind of value these practices and what that was like. So there are some things that you could include there. So I'm just going to read through them for us. The first is to welcome and get to know your classmates. I know doing class via Zoom is not the best, it's not ideal, but I think we should still be able to get to know each other, call each other by our right names. Those things are really important in just like respecting each other. Feel free to address bias in the classroom. So if you hear bias comments arise, it's actually important to our critical thinking to acknowledge those so that we can work those out together. And you can think of the creed as you think of kind of bias in the classroom. So we believe these things. So here are our statements: respect for the dignity of each person, fairness and civility, personal and professional integrity, academic honesty, academic freedom, good stewardship of our resources, and those are sort of what we pledge to as a university community. 3, you want to address bias in the learning materials. So say you're reading in this common read right now, which is sort of what we're doing together for the next 2 weeks. If you notice there is biased language or problematic things going on, you want to recognize it, take note of it, critically question it, and kind of bring that to our discussion when we come together on Mondays, especially. Those are important. It just helps build our critical thinking and expose us to new ideas. 4, develop self-awareness. So think about our own social identities and sort of what makes you who you are. We don't want to ignore those things or act like we're colorblind. These things have a real impact on our daily lives. So consider that as you come to class and approach lots of different people and different personalities and ideas and beliefs. Number 5, know the relationship between intent and impact. So maybe there are things you say in class discussion and you never had an intention of having saying something that may be problematic. Know that the impact of what you say, you have to honor that just like you do your own intention. So you're responsible for the impact of your words. And so keep that in mind. Number 6 is about just the things that you can do that help make you a better member of our classroom community, and that's making sure that you're prepared for class. So make sure you've done the readings, make sure that you have something to contribute, and especially when we do things like peer review, that you are open and engaged with your classmates. And then last, I give you a few links to, particularly to our Center for Inclusion, but you want to, and as a part of our community, it's important to fight for the equity of students, all students, particularly underrepresented or disenfranchised students. And if you want more information on that, you can go to the Center for Inclusion. So let's kind of open it up with a little discussion here. Was there anything as I was going through these that stood out to you that you kind of want to comment on that maybe you hadn't considered before?
I think it's really cool that you guys have a thing about the intent and impact. I've definitely been in classrooms where the teacher was just too afraid to address the subject. When somebody makes like a comment, whether they meant it or not, they just never addressed it just for their own comfort.
Yeah, that happens, you know, and it's so much easier to ignore it, but it's only easier for the teacher, right? It's not easier for the students. The students themselves, those kinds of situations when they happen are excellent learning opportunities for students. And so, yeah, it's important that the teachers take that role of acknowledging. Anyone else?
I'll jump in and I'll just comment on number 7. I like how it says fight for equity of all students as opposed to equality, because even though they're both really important, equality, it's more focusing on making sure everyone's equal, and then equity, as it says, for all underrepresented and disenfranchised. I like that point that it makes.
Yeah,
So
thanks. Oh, you go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Yeah, thanks for saying that, Hayes, because I didn't think about this, but there are some really great visuals. If you're not quite sure the differences there between equity and equality, if you just Google it, you'll find some really cool visuals that will explain that for you, right? So equity is that everyone is provided the tools to have an equal experience. And so that's really important too. And there are lots of ways, if this interests you, please visit the Center for Inclusion. There are lots of ways for you to get involved on campus in the kinds of initiatives that help make our campus community more inclusive. You know, we do strive toward our creed, but we still have work to do in our university community, and you could be a part of that work. So I encourage y'all to go there. All right. Anything else before we finish up with this?
I was gonna add in number 6. I know throughout high school, a lot of times group projects were mainly like one person, and it was just like not a group project. So I like how you just clarified that.
Amen. We have all been there, and it is such a bummer to have to carry the load for a group. We will do the majority of the group activities that you guys will participate in will be peer review. And it's not just peer review of like a final draft or, you know, a final rough draft, I guess, of a project, but we'll be doing peer review activities throughout the semester, even if it's just, let's look at the claim or thesis statement for this essay and do a workshop on it. So we need, you know, your classmates need you. And to be honest, if you are engaged and you participate and help your classmates out, it will only benefit your own project, okay? So we don't just do it to help out our classmates. We do it to grow academically for ourselves as well. So yeah, and if you notice that that's a problem, you know, you can always reach out to me or Miss Black. All right, anything else? All right. Well, we're going to keep going, but guys, you can always come back to this. And I've also listed these practices and the source for where I got some of these practices in Blackboard, and you can always download them from there. All right. Now I'm just going to kind of go over how we're going to do this semester remotely, so that everybody's on the same page. Mondays, we'll have these Zoom sessions. Hopefully we'll have all the links working correctly by next week, so that we won't have some of the frenzy that we had this morning. We'll Zoom. If you can't make it to like your noon session, like that day you have a doctor's appointment scheduled, or there's just something, you can link in to the 10 or 11 o'clock class, and just in the chat let me know, hey, I had to come to the 10 o'clock today because I had this problem. I'd rather see you than not see you, in other words. So there are these other options for you to come to class. You just let me know that, hey, I just popped in. Actually, I had a student today who came to the 10 o'clock session accidentally. She's actually registered for the 11 o'clock. So just keep that in mind. Wednesdays and Fridays, we will not, you don't have to do this synchronously. So we're not logging in at the same time. You're going to be doing this, what we call kind of self-paced. So you'll be on your own. The way that you'll access that is through our class blog. Okay, so we kind of go between Blackboard and our blog space. Most of you, it looks like, have already signed up for your blog and added my class blog. So you'll be able to see that here pretty soon. If you have not gone through the steps of setting up your blog yet, the emails I sent out last week, there were 2 of them. I gave you very specific instructions on how to go in and set up that blog space. Now, sometimes it can still be ticky, and you might need me to lead you through that process, which I will do, and I did for students last week. So if you're in that boat, try to meet with me today during office hours from 1 to 3, and I'll show you where the link to that is, and I'll walk you through that process, okay? But let me just show you real quick. When you go to that class blog, it's going to look like this once you get access to it. You may not have access right now. It just depends on where you are in setting up. But when you go in there, it's going to look like this. There's a painting of the grove. My husband actually painted that. He's a visual artist. And then you'll see at the top, you should see the date for the next class. Okay, so you have to actually click into this in order to comment. And that comment is like our discussion board for that class day. Okay, so when yeah.
Right. So for the daily writes, is that on the class blog? Is that where we write them?
No, the daily writes are your own personal writing. So you will post those on your personal blog space. To be honest, you don't even have the option to post, do a post on the class blog. You only have the option to comment.
Okay.
So don't worry, you should not be able to, unless there's some glitch that we have to work out with you personally, you should not accidentally post your daily write to the class blog.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you asked that question. So when you click into the class blog, what you'll do is you'll watch the video for that day. That video, guys, I'm going to try to keep them to 10 minutes or less, just because I know they can be tedious to just listen to a lecture for much longer than that. But you'll listen to that. It'll essentially be like, that would be my lecture for the day. And then under it, you will see just a prompt that will have you write some kind of written response. You'll write that response, and then you'll post it down here under leave a reply. Okay.
I'm sorry, where do you find this at?
This is our class blog. There are a couple ways you can get to it. You could go through our Bitmoji classroom. There's a class blog link there. Or just pretty soon you're going to be used to going to ed blogs like a lot. And when you do, when you get into ed blogs, at the top where it says my sites, you're going to have 2 sites listed. You'll have your own personal site, and then you'll have the class blog. You notice I have lots of them, but that's because I have all my students' blogs posted here. Okay. Now, if you guys are trying to get there right now and it's saying the site, you do not have permission to view this site, that's because you haven't set up, either you haven't set up your blog yet, or you have not added our class to your blog space. So that's why I encourage you, go back to that email, look through those steps, and go through them and get that set up. And if you need help with that, come see me during office hours today, and I'll lead you through that process. Okay, so that's Wednesdays and Fridays. That's how you'll kind of have class those days. And where do you go to find what to do each day? last week I emailed you a PDF of our Unit 1 calendar. So our calendars, and you can also find it in Blackboard under Unit 1. And if you want to go ahead and download that PDF, you're welcome to. I would download it and save it to your desktop, just somewhere that's easy to get to. So you're like, okay, it's Wednesday. I'm going to go into the calendar and see what we need to do that day. Okay. So the calendar will tell you everything from, it'll list the date. It'll list what you're supposed to do for class. So the coursework for that day. And then it'll tell you the homework for the next class. So while we're here, I'm going to go ahead and go over that. And if you guys have any questions, you can ask them when I'm finished. So today we're just doing this meet and greet, and then we're going to do our first daily write in a minute. And for homework for Wednesday, you need to have read through chapter 7 of the Common Read, What the Eyes Don't See. And then you'll want to listen to this TED Talk, Maslow's Human Needs TED Talk. And you'll notice it says, as you listen, just take notes on how what you're hearing in the podcast aligns with what you're reading in the book, okay? Notice it doesn't say you have to submit these notes anywhere. I just want you to take notes so that when you go to the discussion on Wednesday in the class blog, you'll be prepared to write that response. And then notice number 3, it says to complete the Writ Lab module on rhetorical reading, but it says you have until the end of the day on Friday the 28th.
Where can we find that?
Yes, okay. So to find the Writ Lab, we're going to go back over in Blackboard. You have like class information, and then right under that you have Writ Lab modules, okay? When you click in, I'm going to go to student view, so you'll see what not what I see, but what you'll see. The one we're doing this week is rhetorical reading. Okay, you're going to click into it. There's a study plan, and then there's a quiz. And when you go in to take your quiz, it will prompt you for an access code. Now, some of y'all got that. It's that Lumen Waymaker. If you got the bundle in some of your course materials, that gives you an access code. So when you click on the quiz, you put that code in, and you only have to put it in once. Okay, then it's done for the rest of the semester. If you have not gotten that from the bookstore, you can actually purchase this through Blackboard. So when you go in to take that first quiz, it'll prompt you to either put in the access code you already bought from the bookstore, or it'll say, do you want to buy this now? Okay, and it's pretty cheap. These modules are basically, they are supplement to what we're doing that week. So like this week, you guys are reading. And so this module is on how do you read as an academic? Like, how do you think critically as you read? How do you take notes? How do you reference outside sources, etc. Okay. All right, questions? This toolbar. Okay. All right. So that is how you find stuff. And like I said, the unit calendar especially is important for just where to go for stuff. Now, where do you go if you get lost? You can go, reread the syllabus. It's funny today, talking about inclusive practices and just how to navigate the class is more important to me on the first day than reading to you exactly what the syllabus says. But the syllabus is obviously important. That's where we have a course description, what our assignments are, how the grades are going to be worked out, different class policies, and contact information. So you guys can read that syllabus on your own, and I'll also try to kind of bring it up next Monday too. And the syllabus is on Blackboard, and you can access it through the Bitmoji Classroom too. If you get lost, the best place too is to go to the unit calendar and just check in. What's the date? What are we supposed to be doing? Office hour conferencing. I'm available today from 1 to 3. Miss Black and I are available Wednesdays from 1 to 3, and then Miss Black is having conference times Thursdays from 1 to 3. So there are a number of options for you to have office hour conferences, and that's basically where we'll Zoom, and it'll just be me and you, and we'll talk out whatever problems you're having. Right? Any questions about that? All right. We've covered that. Let's talk a minute about Mindful Mondays. So we're not doing that today, even though I certainly need a mindfulness session today. But starting next week, we're going to be doing Mindful Mondays, which is where we will actually do a guided meditation, 5 to 10 minutes together, and then journal. So the reason that we do this, there are a lot of studies that look at the positive benefits of mindfulness and making mindfulness a normal practice. And they're listed here. It helps with stress reduction, mental focus, being compassionate for other people and towards ourselves, which sometimes the people we're hardest on are ourselves. It reduces negative thoughts and helps to redirect us to now, and improves overall mental health. And I think it's especially important right now, guys, as we are living in the time of COVID and a lot of uncertainty and a lot of loss of control. And so we're going to make this a part of our practice. But I've also included other mindfulness resources on the Bitmoji Classroom that you're welcome to go in and use on your own, because you might want to start making mindfulness a part of your personal practice. Okay. All right.
I love that so much that you do that for our class.
Oh, I'm so glad. If you've never done meditation before, don't worry. It is not scary. You know, it's actually really lovely. And I'll be leading you through it. So, you know, you're not alone in it. And it's actually, it's really great. I'm probably going to do it right after this because I need it today. All right. So we're going to go ahead and do our first daily write for the semester and hopefully have some share time. Let me see how our time's doing. We're doing okay, but not great. I promise next week we'll have a lot more time. The way that you're going to do your daily write, let's go ahead and go to the blog space for the first time. And you're going to go to your own blog space.
Okay, I have my blog set up, but like I don't have it like set up through our class, because every time I hit the link, it like says it's not gonna work. But my account's set up.
Yes, that's where we're going right now. So we just we will work out, if you want to come during office hours, we'll work out how to get you on the class blog. But as long as you have yours set up right now, you can participate today. So guys, when you go to edblogs.olemiss.edu, you're going to go log in, okay? And do this even if you don't have your blog set up. We can go ahead and set it up right now. I like to use the login button over here to the top left, but you can also use the sign in button here. The only problem with this guy is that once you sign in, it still says sign in, and it confuses a lot of people. But once you sign in for the first time, you're in, and what you're going to see at the top is this My Sites tab. So go ahead, and I'm just going to use this one. She's from a former class, just as an example. You're going to go in and choose your site, and you can either go to your dashboard, which will look like this, and it's kind of like an editing space, or you can go to Visit Site, and it'll show you what your actual site looks like, okay? What you're going to try to find is this tab up here that says plus, like a new post. You're going to be making a new post. So everybody try to get here. And if you're having trouble, go ahead and bust in and let me know.
I can't find where it says that. Oh, wait, never mind. I found it.
See, add new. If you're in the dashboard, you can actually go to posts, and there should be an add new option there. All right, is everybody here? If you're setting up your blog space, you might just want to do this like on a Word document or something, and you can add it later.
Wait, is it supposed to say add post?
Yes, at the top it'll say add new post. or if you're not quite in there, there are a couple ways to get to it. If there's a little plus sign that says new and you can choose post, or if you're in your dashboard, there's the post option, you can add new from there. But once you're in there, at the top it says add new post, and it says to add a title. So you can title it Daily Write, and then our date, which is the 24th. And then in the box down here, that's where you write. Okay. So I'm going to put up the prompt for today, and I'll just read it aloud to you. For the first Daily Write, I want to know how you found yourself here at UM. What led you to this place and this moment, and how are you feeling being a freshman in this particular time? So, thinking about COVID-19 and those difficulties. End with what you want out of this semester, and you're going to write some goals. So we're going to come back to this next week, looking at these goals and kind of seeing how you did. Your goals, you're going to write one social goal, one academic goal, and one personal goal. And the thing about goals is if you go really general, sometimes it's hard to know whether or not you're getting there, like, working toward it effectively. So instead of saying something like, my goal is I want to do well this semester, you might try something like, okay, my goal is this week I want to get all of my assignments in on time. Okay, so try to go as specific as you can with your goals. Okay. Let's all take a moment. I'm going to go to the chat. So if you're having trouble, go to the chat and put in your questions. And that way everybody else can just use this time to write. We're going to write for about 5 minutes, and then we'll wrap up.
When we're writing these, do they have to be in like a format, or do we just write them?
You just write them, y'all. This is like your journal, your personal journal. So this does not have to be pretty or perfect. It just needs to be you and your voice. Okay. And it doesn't have to be a certain length, just write until it's finished. All right, guys, I know I have not given you nearly enough time to finish this, so you'll want to go in and finish it in a little bit. You know, you can finish it however long it takes. It shouldn't take you too long to finish. But I did want to have a moment for at least one or two of us to share today. If you'll just talk to us maybe about how you found yourself here at UM. You could talk about your goals. Would anybody do that for us?
One of my goals is to really stay on top of my schoolwork because I'm not very good with like online stuff.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, it's a little overwhelming sometimes. So I'm just like really trying to like stay organized and go to class and stuff like that.
Yes, Brooke, it is intimidating. I have actually, for the first time in I don't know how long, gotten a paper hard copy planner. And that's because I also, like I said, I would much prefer to be face to face, and so it's helping me to kind of keep myself organized. I use my phone calendar too for a lot of stuff, but yeah, I know there's some worries about that. Okay, other people? What about how you found yourself at UM? Was it kind of an interesting journey to?
I watched the movie Blindside a lot. And I like football, so I kind of just led from the air.
Oh, I know. Football culture is fun. I don't know what it's going to look like this year. Anyone else?
I said because I wanted a different experience from the rest of my friends. Like most of them were to go to Big Ten colleges, and I thought try something new and experience a different culture.
Yes, that's so important. I'm proud of you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I think that's really important. I know, I mean, I grew up in Olive Branch, so it wasn't like I went far away, but a lot of my friends go to the local community college, or they went there. And so I sort of wanted to go somewhere too where it wasn't going to feel like high school 2.0, you know. Yeah, that's great. Well, guys, this has been wonderful. Y'all have been great today, considering all of the tech difficulties we've had. Um, I'm not going to meet in with you as a class until next Monday. Though next week I might offer a survey to see if you guys would like to do Zoom sessions on Mondays and Wednesdays. But again, I'll just kind of go with what the majority wants for that. But for this week, you'll be checking in on Wednesday with your class blog. So everybody feel good about that? Are there any questions about what to do Wednesday and Friday of this week? Okay. If so, you just come, my office hours start in 10 minutes. Okay. So you can just log back on. You'll choose the office hour link that's on the Bitmoji classroom. Okay.
Do we publish this?
Oh, yes, we haven't published it yet. What y'all do, if you go to the right side of your screen, you're going to see a categories list, and it'll ask you to organize by category. So this is a daily write. You should already see that category listed there. If you'll just click on daily write and then go back up to the top and publish it. Now, once it's published, you can still edit it. So if you haven't finished it for the day, but you want to get it published just to kind of know what that's like, you can go back in, and through your dashboard, if you go to posts, you can view all of your posts and you can edit from there. So if you need to get back in, you're welcome to. But yes, go ahead and publish this one.
Can you remind me how to get to the Bitmoji thing?
It will be the first thing that shows up when you go to Blackboard, when you log into our Blackboard class. So if you go into Blackboard, choose Writing 101, you should see the Bitmoji from there. And the office hours are over here. So here's the Zoom link for Mondays and Wednesdays. And then over here is the link for Thursdays. Miss Black will be doing office hours on Thursdays too. Okay, any other questions? All right, for those who are popping in today from 1 to 3, I'm gonna go grab a sandwich real quick, so I might be a minute or two late, but not much. And I will check in with the rest of you next week. Okay, if you're good to go, you go ahead and leave the meeting. I'll stick around just in case anybody has an extra question. But y'all have a great first week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh yes, thank you. Anybody else here?